How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane, and I'm here to give you another Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie episode review and recap. This is episode 4, also known as How They Each Felt at the Start of Summer. Now, if you paid attention to my last video, I accidentally put that as episode 4. No, that was episode 3. And I even had it, I probably even said it in there that it was episode 3. I don't know where the typo came from, but don't worry, it's been fixed. But let me know how you feel by giving me a like. Leave a comment down there because I actually read every last one of them. And please do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos just like this. That's right. Oh, don't forget to share. Sharing is caring. So, I am almost all caught up with the Shikimoris. I am most definitely going to have episode 5 for you all shortly, meaning like tomorrow, after all of this. And if you're seeing this on Monday, episode 5 probably come out on Monday as well. I might not wait till Tuesday to put that out. And I like being all caught up. So, let's talk about what's going on. So, the crew are on the roof of the school. I guess they have their little lunch period. And you know what? I gotta admit one thing. One thing I'm actually jealous about for, I guess, Japanese schools, at least this is how the animes are making it look. When they go on lunch, they get to do cool stuff. They get to go on the roof. Of course, they have those, technically suicide barricades to stop anyone from wanting to jump off. I think most places should have those, but they definitely have those in Japanese schools. But it's just nice to be able to go on the roof and just enjoy the day before you got to go back to lunch and stuff like that. Like that, that stuff's really cool. But there's a cicada. The sun is shining. Izumi's underneath. He's underneath the shade because he cannot take the sun at all. He is 0% sunproof. Just that, they even said it. That's his thing. He cannot take the sun. And all the others, and by others meaning Inuzaka, Hachimisu, and of course Nekozuka. I think that's her name, Nekozuka. I just call it Neko. They're all talking about what they want to do for the summer. Inu calls over Izumi, and he's just like baking under the sun. And it's so, one of the things I love is Hachimisu has this large umbrella. I said parasol, but it's an umbrella and it matches the color of her hair and her eyes. Man, I'm definitely team Hachimisu. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because she's super laid back, but she's cool. So, as he's trying to like shield himself, Shikimori puts a cold drink on his face, and he turns around and she says this for him. After our intro, we're greeted by her asking if she startled him, and she tells him, "You need to stay hydrated." And as he looks at her, he's like, "Man, she looks dazzling, like she's this model in an advert," because she's basically saying, "Here, drink water. You gotta hydrate," that kind of thing. And it's so cute. Hachimisu, she's standing on her tiptoes to cover both him and her under her umbrella. I guess she has issues with the sun as well. And even Neko's like, "You okay with that?" Because we all know how Shikimori gets, right? And she's like, "Oh, it's just Hachimisu." And that's interesting. She would get jealous for Inu, and she gets jealous for Neko, and we'll get to that in a second. But not Hachimisu. I wonder what it is about Hachimisu. That's just kind of like, oh, it's Hachimisu. It's fine. But Izumi, ever the polite, he takes the umbrella instead. Now, one thing that happened before we got to our intro, that same cicada came off of the building and flew into his head and flew off. And they're all like, we don't know why we're even surprised about that, right? Which shouldn't be. It's pretty natural at this point. So now they're all talking about what they want to do for the summer. They're talking about the beach, and of course Shikimori, she's excited about the beach, right? She loves the beach. And we get, I love it when they talk about the characters, because Hachimisu and almost called him a different character, Izumi, they both like culture things. And the other three, they're sporty athletic types. And apparently, Izumi, he's into winter, not the summer, but Shikimori's into the summer and not the winter. And so they're talking about the beach sounds fun, but he burns instantly. When he's thinking about it, he's like, "Yeah, last time we all went to the beach, had to sit underneath the umbrella, and I was kind of felt like I was ruining everybody's day because he was sitting there by himself. Sounds familiar. Sounds like another person who can't communicate having a little beach episode, but we won't talk about that. You know it's Comey can't. Yeah, you know. And so he even had a straw hat on, which is interesting because it looks like Luffy's straw hat. It's very just defined straw hat. And Inuzaka says, "Wouldn't we better go to a river because it'll be a little bit cooler, and Izumi can be there." He says, "Hey, don't hold back on my sake." And they're all like, "Bro, we asked you to come over here to help us pick a place because we want you to be comfortable too. We want you to have fun." Friendship. It's nice when people think of others. Hmm. I won't take that any further. Anyway, Hachimitsu does point out that the river and Izumi might be dangerous, and the Shikimori very coolly goes, "Don't worry, I'm gonna be there." And Neko's like, "Oh, Michan, you're just so cool. You are the coolest." And it's kind of embarrassing her, so she's blushing, and Neko's poking at her cheeks, and Izumi just has the biggest blush. He's just like, "Oh, my girlfriend's so great. Oh, she's so cool." His knight in shining armor. Yeah, technically his knight in shining armor. So where am I at here? And when Inu asked Hachibisu what she wanted to do, she said, "Honestly, I just want to lounge at someone's house with the AC on full blast." And for a moment, Inuzaka and Neko are both about to say, "Just sitting around someone's house during the summer." We want to do that too. They want to do all the stuff, and apparently Neko also wants to go to a festival, right? And Izumi and Shikimori, they're both kind of laughing at it because these guys are super excited for the summer. Um, where am I at here? And Izumi thinks to himself, "This might be the best summer I've ever had." Good for you, bro. A few days later, it's finals week for them. So they got to take their final exams, so there's no clubs or anything. And everyone's like, "Well, Neko, why are you excited about that?" She's like, "So we can go shopping." And now they're at the mall, or yeah, shopping center, mall. And she's like, "We can go shopping for our trip to the river." And Inuzaka's like, "No, we need to study. The only reason we were all together was to study." And he can tell she's trying to come up with a reason just to go shopping. She's like, "We'll get swimsuits." He's like, "Only kids wear swimsuits at the river," but they're kind of just ignoring him. And even Izumi's like, "Well, we already have the barbecue and stuff ready for when summer's ready to go." And Shikimori asked Izumi if he was going to wear a swimsuit, and he thinks about the time when he got sunburned all over. His mom, she was taking care of him, which was it's nice seeing his younger mom had shorter hair. I like that. That's a contrast. I'm enjoying being able to know when the past is the past. And let me scroll down my notes. And he goes, "No, I probably won't do any swimming, so I won't get a swimsuit." And Shikimori just has this look, and whenever we get that cool or teasing or serious Shikimori look, she's looking at, she's like, "Oh, that's kind of a shame." And it takes him a minute. He's like, what do you mean, huh?" And the girls are kind of laughing. They're laughing because they're like, "Yeah, she has him in the palm of his hand." Hachimitsu calls her Teasamori. Because earlier I like it, or I like that it's so obvious that they are all pro their relationship. Because earlier on, with the whole giving him water, they were all smiling about that too. Love it. These just good friends, good people, right? Well, so at this moment, the other two girls they run off, and now Izumi's kind of just staring off, and she's like, "Well, I'm not gonna go shopping for one because he's not gonna wear one. I'm not gonna wear one, right?" And so while she's Izumi's looking off, and she's like, "What are you looking at?" And he's looking at this ad with the swimsuit. She looks like she's wearing the swimsuit that Marin Chan wore in Dress Up Darling, which I definitely need to review that one. Another slice of life of 2022. But and she's getting jealous. She's like, "So you looking at a woman wearing that? Okay." And what he's really thinking is, "Wow, her abs look cool." So he's just looking at the abs, the woman's abs. He's not even thinking about anything else. And so she goes, "You know what? I'm gonna go to the bathroom." And she speed walks, basically runs. And he's like, "The bathrooms are that way." She's gone. We already know where she's going. So Izumi and Inuzaka, they're gonna go study at the food court. She actually finds the same swimsuit that was in that ad. And the other girls come up and go, "Oh, hey, she's like Neko puts this frilly swimsuit up to Hachimisu. It's like, look how funny this is." And Hachimisu's like, "Don't put that next to me." And they're both like, "You can't wear that." And she's like, "No, it was an ad." And Izumi was looking at it. And she's like, "Oh, you really don't like to lose, do you?" She's like, "What do you mean I don't like to lose?" And they're both kind of smiling, laughing. They're like, "You really don't." Of course, you wouldn't remember that this is part of your personality, but then we get a flashback where Shikimori is walking past Neko and Hachimisu, and Neko's like, "Shikimori's really cute." She tells Hachimisu she really wants to be friends with her. Like she has big eyes, long hair, soft skin, slender, and she's super nice. She's the classic Japanese beauty, and she really wants to be her friend. So now they're at their lunchtime, and Hajimisu's like, "You're being pretty creepy," because that's all she's thinking about, right? And I love how Hajimisu talks when she eats. Really good voice acting, by the by. It's really good. um, and so was it? Shikimori mentions that the air around her and Izumi, because she just started dating that Izumi guy. The air around them is just so pure and it's great. And Hachimisu points out, you like those kind of girls, right? The kind of that are simple and clean maidens. And she says she likes those kind of girls because she wants to be that kind. She's tall and tactless. Not that there's anything that it bothers her, but girls who are soft and smell nice. She says that the great ones, the ones that make you want to protect them, those are kind of she more is her ideal woman. I can't tell if this is a crush or if this is like I really want to hang out with this really cool person, right? Could be 50-50. I was already saying Nekozanka and Hachimisu, but maybe it's 50-50. Who knows? So it's basketball time with the girls. The boys are sitting on side. Girls gonna do a little basketball thing. Hachimisu and Nekozanka, they are on one side. Shikimori's on the other side. And so, you know, um, she's ready to show off for her man and her boyfriend. And what Neko's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it easy. It's just we're not gonna take this seriously. Shikimori comes and steals it and does a really cool layup shot thing, and then just the switch flips in Neko. When Shikimori has the ball, she goes in and steals it, and now things everyone's looking like this is getting serious. And she does a 3-pointer, which got Izumi's attention. She's like, "Oh, that's cool." That's when serious Shikimori got into high gear, and they're playing this game, and the game is getting closer and closer. The other girls are out of breath. They're like, "Why are they taking this so seriously?" Even the boys are like, "Wow, this is no ordinary girls' game." And so after the game is all done, Shikimori's like panting, trying to catch her breath. Nekozaka comes over and says, "Hey, why don't we? That was a really good game. Why don't we have lunch together?" And I guess that was the start of their friendship. And I love the fact that Hachimizu in the past forgot who Shikimori was, and in the present, like, was that really how that happened? She's like, how are you forgetting this? I find that laid back part. I find that very funny. So she's like, yeah, you attempt to hate losing, and that's all right. She's like, you know what? We're gonna help you find something. So, see, the boys are studying, and they're studying something about probability with dice, and I didn't like math in school. Don't I? Funny enough, I didn't like math, but I did well in it because I pushed myself because I did not like it. Right. So just looking at this just made me go, we're gonna have to finish, go past this. And of course, even Inuzaga's like, I don't even know how I understood any of this. So the girls come back. Izumi, ever the gentleman, goes to get a fifth chair for Hachimisu. Of course, Shikimori sits next to him, and he's like, "You look super happy. What did you buy?" And she's like, "Oh, I didn't get anything." He's like, "I can tell you're lying," and it's so funny because the other girls are like, "Huh, man, maybe it's him that has her in the palm of the hand." And Hachimisu's like, "Hey, you really can't deny your inner nature," which is where that part ends off. I like that it seamlessly went into, I guess, a couple of days later, or maybe the next day. It's pretty funny though. Before I get to the next scene, she was completely blushing, just putty in his hands because he knows her, and she just kind of making up a lie. I guess she wants this swimsuit to be a surprise, right? but it's pretty cool that he knows when she's lying, and it's funny and adorable. So, also, I like the subs on this. The subs on this is just great because while Shikimori was talking in the background to Izumi, hers were up top, and Neko and Hachimisu having the conversation we're supposed to be listening to in at the bottom. I wish Hulu would do their subs like that. I'm just putting it out there. There are better ways of doing subs. You don't have to overlay them like that, especially if you don't put who's speaking. People won't know. People won't know, especially if you're not paying attention all that much. Anyway, now we have our two lovebirds. They are walking. Looks like they're kind of walking home together. And Izumi is despondent. She's like, this sounds like a really disastrous day, kind of like what you usually have. He ran out of pencil for his pencil for the test. Took 15 minutes to try to find one, and it took that long for the teacher to just be like, here's one that you can use. Um, he feels so bad when he broke his pen in the middle of the whole thing. A small dog is barking at him ferociously while they're walking home. And he's just all slumps. He's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. She tries to cheer him up, saying, good luck. We'll do it tomorrow. We got this. And now the time is exactly 21:02. And if I keep forgetting military time, 18, 19, 20, 21. It is 9 o'clock. I was going to say 9. I'm glad I'm right. It's 9 o'clock. He has a thing, this Dictionary of Archaic Japanese, fifth version revised. That's actually pretty cool that they have to learn some of these old terms because old Japanese is completely different than modern Japanese. Modern Japanese does kind of they call it English. They take a lot of English words and just use the katakana for things, but they do have their own words. But it's pretty interesting the new from the old. There's actually a lot of people who are nationalists in Japan. That's one of their reasons why they're kind of upset about the modern times is because they're basically taking English words and just kind of trying to make them Japanese, and that they have some issues with that. But you guys can look that stuff up if you want. Anyway, he is just face all in his blankets, and he's still just like, ugh. And Shikimori gives him a call, and he's like, "Hey, what you doing? You're calling me kind of late." And the little sub box on the side is going. They're both very healthy kids. I'm assuming this means that they go to bed early or they go to bed at a reasonable hour. I'm not gonna front. I didn't do that when I was in high school. Fell asleep when you fell. When you're younger, you can stay up till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, watching that good old Inuyasha, listening to that Do as Infinity come on. Just saying. Adult Swim. Adult Swim. So it's so funny that she knew him very well because she's said, "I thought your head would be buried in the blankets," because she's asking him if he's okay. He's like, "No, I'm fine," even though she knew him, right? Um, and she says, "Well, also the other reason I called is because I really just want to hear your voice." And he wishes he could have saw her face when she said that. And so he thinks of something to talk about. He says, "Hey, can you see the northern sky from your window?" So she turns off her light. She's like, "Yeah." He points out the North Star. That's part of the constellation Ursa Major. You see it all year round. That is true. There's another constellation that's in the form of W. That's Cassiopeia. You can also see that all year round. That is also true. She's like, "You really like stars, don't you?" Well, when they were in their constellation class in middle school, sorry, uh, he really enjoyed that class. He really enjoyed the teachings. His dad even tried to take him stargazing one time. He had a little star chart and everything. Unfortunately, every time he took him, it rained. That's his luck. And she instantly pipes in, "I'll take you someplace so you'll be able to watch the stars. We can do this. I'll get you there." And he's like, "Well, I wanted to take you someplace." One thing in my notes: his father had black hair, was a little bit smaller back then. Again, I like that you can tell the difference, but even if it's subtle, but tell the difference of characters in the past as opposed to everybody just looking the same all the time. Anyway, she very quickly says she'll take him somewhere where he can see the stars, and he says, "Well, he wants to go somewhere she wants to too." Well, why? It's obvious, right? I mean, he wants to see a happy look on her face. He likes seeing her when she's happy. she made sure that they went to the river for his sake and take him. So he wants to take her someplace that she wants to go. And both of them are blushing this whole entire time. And she can't think of any place that she wants to go with him. He's thinking, she doesn't want to go any place with me. And I love that instantly, even though he was thinking it, she instantly said, it's not, it's the fact that I just want to go everywhere with you. I don't care if it's the movies, amusement park, or a local park. As long as you're there, I want to be there with you. I love seeing you happy. So she says, no matter what, no matter where you go, just make sure you take me with you. And in his mind, he's like, oh, I love this girl, right? He loves her. And she says, all right, well, it's time to sleep. And he says, Shikimori, you're amazing. I feel so much better now. And, he wishes he could see her right now. And it's quiet for a while. And she goes, all right, well, it's time to go to bed. And hangs up the phone. He's like, oh, yeah, that was selfish of me. She really must have been tired, right? And he's hyped up. He's like, I can do this. And you hear his mom go, it's too late to be yelling in the middle of the night, which is adorable. On her end, she's looking at her phone and she's thinking, I wish I could have seen his face when he said that. And so she does the same thing that Comey did, where facing the pillow, kicking out the legs, just kind of doing the girly scream thing. And it's really really cute. Even Comey had the little scream too, but it's quiet because it's Comey. But hers is naturally loud. And her brother comes in, opens the door, says, "Hey, it's the middle of the night. Keep it down." And she still goes, "Art, are you even listening to me?" That's the ending. But after the ending, remember last episode I told you that Yu's mom, Motoko Izumi, she told Shikimori she wanted her to come with her to a class to learn how to make meat and potato stew. I thought it was beef, but it says meat and potato stew. They're in the class. Shikimori's cheeks puffed out of nervousness, and Motoko just goes, "Hey, don't be nervous." She drops all her tools on the floor. Yu's mom does, right? And Shikimori's like, "You should probably pick those up right away." So while Shikimori's these um cutting these carrots, and she's like, "No, that's not a good way of doing it." She comes from behind her and helps her how to do it. Her hand is on her waist, and Shikimori's flustered. And I don't think her mom understands why she's flustered, right? So she blows into her ear. She's like, "Why would you do that?" Face fully red. She's like, "I'm just trying to get you to relax." How could I relax if you do that? And she's not even paying attention to Shikimori. She's like, maybe this isn't the kind of right knife for you. And Shikimori goes, she's just moving at her own pace, which she is. Interesting character, interesting moment. She says, maybe you need a left-handed knife. And so she runs. I love now in these shows, especially the slice of lives, the quick run to nowhere. Love it. I like that not really cliche, but I like that trope. So she comes back, she's like, "Hey, I got this knife." Shikimori's like, "Hey, I don't know why I'm always nervous around her, but she asked me to come and I'm gonna do this my best." His mom comes in with another knife, trips, and she goes, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." That's exactly what it did. Shikimori dodges the knife, catches the knife, and catches his mom, hand in the middle of her back. And she's like, "You all right?" Just mom just looking up at her, gets the little blushy face, and she's like, "Oh, I should be asking you, are you okay?" And she's like, "That's a fair question." The course instructor goes, "Please be safer while handling the knives." And that's where this good episode ends. I'm glad they didn't forget about that. I'm guessing that might have been like a little extra thing in the manga where it's like the extra sections towards the end. I like that. I really like that. Um, Interesting episode. Feels like it's building up for something else, but I do like that we got backstory. So I, without a shadow of a doubt, can give this episode a 4.5. Again, I enjoy it like I enjoyed all the other ones, and typically I score shows higher. Again, I rate shows against themselves, or if they're a part of a franchise, I might compare. But this gets a 4.5 because of the backstory on how she met her girlfriends. That's nice. I like that. It kind of shows all. And the funny thing is, Shikimori tries to say that it's not that she doesn't want to lose, but they don't. They miss out on that. They kind of shoot her into finding a swimsuit. I think it's just that if you if Izumi looks at somebody and kind of is either tender with them or looks at them with adoration or coolness or even cute, thinking that they're cute, that's when she goes, nah, I'm not gonna look bad in front of my boy. You ain't gonna look better in front of my boy than I am. I like that. I like that. I like the jealousness in her. Maybe one day we'll get a jealous rage from Izumi. Now that would be a character flip, right? Like, oh, I see you with this guy, and you know what? Yeah, he might be more amazing than me. Sure, mine. I can't. I hope that actually happens because her switch would flip so hard, and you all know that would. So 4.5 out of 5 for me for this episode. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Please do not forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified of more videos like this. We're trying to get to 200, and I know we can do it. Don't forget to share the video, and thank you for taking some time out to spend some time with me. Be good, be blessed, wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe out there, you guys. No matter what, be good to yourself, be good to others. Don't be a jerk. Be considerate, all right? And I will most definitely be considerate of you and see you next time.